This is Radio Random Network. Find us on the web at www.radiorandomnetwork.com.
All right, my guest today on the Radio Random Network is representing the band Year of October, here to talk about Golden Days. Brand new single, brand new album. Talking to none other than Mr. Josh Sullivan. Josh, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Doing great, friend. Doing great. You been busy, huh?
Yeah, I've been real busy. We've been playing a lot of shows and just started recording a third record, actually. So staying real busy and everything's going well.
That's great. That's great. Well, let's start from the very beginning, Josh. We'll talk about you for a minute. When did you decide that music was something that you wanted to pursue as a profession?
I think I was probably about 14 or 15 years old, and at the time I'd been playing bass for a couple of years with some friends, and I don't know, I was practicing one day, and I was like, there's nothing else that I really want to do other than write music and do it professionally. I think it was definitely it just kind of hit me. I think I realized that it was something that I love doing, and I wanted to continue doing it. Yes, indeed.
Now, you just said you started. Was bass your first instrument that you learned how to play?
Yes, sir. Yeah, bass. I've been playing bass since I was about 12 or 13, and I took lessons for about 10 years, and I played guitar with Year of October live, but on the recordings I played bass as well.
Yes, indeed. Well, let's talk a little bit about Year of October. Now, it's you and Felicia, correct?
Yes, sir. It's my wife, Felicia Sullivan, and the third member of the band, our drummer. His name is Cody Muick.
Yes, indeed. And now, you and Felicia, you guys attended the University of Kentucky, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, is that where all of this stuff started?
Yeah, we actually we met at Kentucky, and we started dating. We dated for about a year before we started playing music, just because we just wanted to make sure it was the right thing to do while we were dating. I didn't want to overcomplicate the relationship starting out. But
right.
Once we started playing and writing music, it just started, snowballing from there.
That's pretty cool. Now, you guys, y'all write together and everything, correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah, me and her, we write everything together.
That's awesome. Now, what is that experience like to have? I mean, you're pretty much business partners in the music scene, but what is it like having your wife in the band with you?
Oh, it's pretty great, actually. It can be interesting because you do have to separate the personal stuff, with the business side, but on the writing end, we pretty much get to write every day, really, because we're always there together, and we try to put apart some time and just work on even if it's older stuff, just kind of fine tuning things, and it's exciting too, because she hears me practicing and working on something, and something I might not even think of as as a part thing I'm just making up. She might hear a vocal line over that or something.
Right.
So it's pretty cool. The collaboration there with me and her is definitely fun, and there's always something different. We come up with different songs and a lot of different ways to do that. So.
Now, when it comes to writing and everything, I mean, do you have to be in a special mood, or do you have to be inspired, or is it something that you guys can just sit down and take off on?
It depends. We've definitely had the moments of inspiration where we've written a song in an hour or an hour and 30 minutes, and then we've also had songs that we've worked on for months, and then eventually something will come around. I try to write every day, whether I'm feeling inspired or not, just to kind of, even if it's something that we aren't going to keep, we record it on my phone or through little devices to get it down, and might be something we come back to later. I try to write every day just because it really kind of keeps you fresh, but then it also sometimes some of the best stuff that we've written is when I force myself to write, just because stuff that I wouldn't normally gravitate towards playing.
Yeah. Now you guys, y'all do a lot of touring, and y'all got a lot of upcoming shows coming up.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
What is it like touring with the band, and especially with you guys with a relationship?
It's really good. We cram into Felicia's we've got a SUV, got an Explorer, and since it's only three of us, we're able to cram everything in there, and it's kind of packed. But it's a blast, man. We put on, each of us picks different albums we're listening to, or we make playlists, and it's kind of a cool way to share music. Because like me and Felicia, obviously we listen to a lot of the same stuff at home, but with Cody, he'll pick songs, and it's just a good time, man.
That's awesome. Now, like I said, you do a lot of shows around Tennessee, Kentucky. Y'all even went as far as Alabama.
Yes, sir.
Now, with that said, the Nashville scene, I know y'all do a lot of stuff around Nashville and everything. And what does that seem like for an independent musician?
Well, and Nashville is a unique place just because there's so many bands here, and there's literally thousands of bands here, and so there's all these scenes, and then sub scenes off of that, and like I'm always learning about, like I ended up the other day at a rap show, and I didn't realize how big of a rap scene Nashville had. I would have never known that, but it was packed, and then but it's not surprising just because there's so many people here, and there's so many great artists here that within our own stuff we play with a whole lot of rock bands, and we play with Americana bands, and a lot of great there's some really great upcoming soul coming out of here, and it's pretty much any type of music. There's definitely people doing it here, so it's pretty exciting.
Yes, indeed. It's a very creative atmosphere when it comes to Nashville. Very creative community, pretty much.
Yeah.
I was up there not too long ago. We attended the Charlie Daniels Volunteer Jam there at the Bridgestone Arena.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but at the that day I had a chance to walk around on Broadway and on the Strip and everything, and check out. I mean, there's bands playing in the daytime. There's bands playing at night.
Yeah.
And from what I've seen now, it seems like everybody's kind of playing for tips.
Yeah.
Now, you don't have to talk about how much you guys make or how much you guys charge, because I'm pretty sure it's all about the music. But how does that benefit how does that benefit with you guys? I mean, whenever you go to play a show, I mean, are you doing it for the money, or are you doing it for the exposure?
When we play Nashville, we play a lot of the outskirts of Nashville or downtown. We don't really play on the Strip there, but it's a lot more for the exposure. Nashville, it's as you probably can guess, it's a lot of the venues. You just don't get paid a lot playing Nashville, just because there's so many bands playing, and if you make money, like the way we look at it, especially since we live here, if you make money at all, it's great. But we just want to get out in front of people and show them what we do, and we play out of town. Obviously make a little bit more money, but in town in Nashville, it's definitely unique. I think, and I've heard people compare it to New York and LA. I've not been to those places, so I can't say for myself, but I can understand that with as many bands as there are in those places, it's just kind of a different environment.
Right. Well, for me, as I'm a musician as well, but we're down here in Louisiana, and the scene on the Strip there reminded me of New Orleans.
Oh, really?
Like a Bourbon Street atmosphere. The only difference is for us, I think Nashville was a little bit more cleaner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But with that said, over here as a musician, or down here in Louisiana as a musician, we look at New Orleans as, I guess the same way you guys look at the Strip in Nashville as far as Bourbon Street, whatever goes.
Yeah.
I mean, you're playing for tips, and for us here, if you're a musician and you're looking, nothing against the guys in New Orleans, but you kind of look at that as like that's where you go to die.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah.
With all of that said, let's talk a little bit about the album Year of October. It come out last October, and it is available now on iTunes and all major streaming networks. But with that said, what was the inspiration behind the album Year of October?
Well, that album, me and Felicia we wrote it over about a 6 to 8 month period, and a lot of the songs, like we like to tell stories, with a lot of our songs, and the title track, Golden Days, that particular story was inspired by Felicia's house that she grew up in, because it was a really cool house, but it was real eerie at times. Like if you were by yourself, you would hear noises, and all her family that lived there would always say it was haunted, kind of jokingly and kind of not. But anyway, there's the lady who lived there, I guess before them. I think the story is she died in the house. Like she was, I think she died of natural causes, but supposedly, I guess like in her, later years, she didn't get out much, and they all, like, she just was kind of shut in. And so the idea behind the song, though, is, and she was, I guess she was well off in her younger years. The idea, though, is that her ghost is still in the house, and it's like yearning for those years that she was young. And the ghost is like walking around looking. It's like she's wanting those golden days back, but she obviously can't have it because she's a ghost. But it's kind of an interesting idea. But the way that Felicia sings it is pretty cool.
Yes, indeed. We'll play a little snippet of it at the end of the show here. But now you actually studied audio engineering, correct?
Yes, sir.
So and you pretty much kind of produced the album.
Yeah, I did.
Now, what kind of challenges did you face by doing that? Well,
yeah, there was it's definitely a lot of challenges whenever you're doing, producing a record on any level, and the way that we do it, we did it out of our spare bedroom at our house, and I've just got basically like an 8-track that goes into my computer, and I use Cubase, and some of the things for me that were a little difficult was just making sure that we got good drum sound, because the drums are, in my opinion, one of the hardest things just to mic in general. And then after we got everything down, because I would layer guitar tracks over the drums and everything, one of the challenges was just making sure that I wanted it to sound live, even though we had layered, tracked everything separately. So I would do guitar takes, and I would do it all in one take. And even if there was little things that weren't exactly perfect, I wanted it to sound more like we do live than just like a polished pop recording or something. So that was definitely the challenge, was getting a lot of energy and things like that. But it was definitely a fun record to work on.
Yes, indeed. Now, Josh, can you describe for me and for the listening audience what type of genre does Year of October fit in?
Well, that's definitely an interesting question. I definitely get asked that one a lot. I would say we're kind of like, it's like, there's something that a friend told me that I'm kind of stealing from, because he described us and it made me feel like it was pretty cool. I think we're kind of like gothic. It's like gothic Southern rock and roll, I'd say, because it's not really blues, but it's got a bluesy feel to it, and it's not really straight rock, because it has a kind of a folk songwriter element to it. But at the same time, it has I think it's got kind of a gothic Southern feel, just because of the stories themselves. A lot of times are almost old timey, but at the same time, it has a kind of a newer twist on it. So I'd say that'd probably be the way I describe it.
Yes, indeed. Now, what kind of what type of goals are you guys looking to achieve as far as your music career goes? Does it bother you, or not bother you, but does it? Are you looking to make it as a, I guess I don't want to say a Nashville recording group, but as a international recording artist with a big machine, as far as like a major record label behind you, or are you guys just happy being an indie band?
Well, my goal myself would definitely, or me and Felicia's goal, actually, we talked about this a lot before, is we just want to provide for ourselves, solely playing music. If we can do that as an independent band or as a major band, just whatever opportunities were to come for us, as long as we could provide for ourselves on one way or another, I'd be happy, and I know she would too. So I mean, if we can do that as an independent artist and not be attached to a big machine, then that's great. But if we had an opportunity come up that was too good to turn down, as long as we didn't have to